This might be a long one, but let's talk about AI 2027, a detailed month-by-month scenario planning project that lays out how AI might transform our world by 2027. The CEOs of OpenAI, DeepMind, and Anthropic have all been very public about how they believe that AGI will come within the next 5 years. Sam Altman talks about superintelligence and a glorious future, but very few people have actually tried to write down what that kind of future might actually concretely look like. Instead of vague speculation, that's where AI 2027 comes in. The minds behind this project include Scott Alexander, who is the author of Astral Codex 10, great blog on science and futurism, and Daniel Cocotalo, who wrote all the way back in 2021 a very accurate report on what 2026 looks like. He accurately predicted things like chain of thought reasoning, larger neural networks, GPU export controls, and even $100 million training runs before they happened. He actually worked at OpenAI but resigned in mid-2024 so that he could openly speak about AI safety and its risks. They emphasized that this is not a prophecy but an educated best guess. In order to get to this, they iterated on the scenario multiple times, ran about 25 tabletop exercises, and got feedback from over 100 researchers and policy experts. At the end of it all, they laid out 2 alternate endings, which we'll explain and talk about later. If you're interested in a deeper dive, I would highly recommend reading the full paper online. I believe it's available if you just search AI 2027. So what exactly happens in their AI 2027 scenario? They lay out that by the mid-2020s, we see our AI assistants evolving into much more powerful AI agents. At first, these AI agents will function like advanced personal assistants. You could ask it to order you food on DoorDash or book a flight, and they'll attempt to execute that task for you on a browser. But since we're still in 2025, they'll still frequently mess up, and they have to constantly ask for human confirmation when they're unsure. The best ones are going to be very expensive, so adoption might be slow. So in 2025, AI agents are impressive, but still unreliable. However, coding assistants will start to look a little bit more like autonomous junior programmers. AI systems can be given a goal to build out a simple mobile app, then proceed to write code on its own and only occasionally check in with a human manager. Same thing with research agents, where they can complete complex research questions without any sort of handholding. In this sense, they're moving from chatbots to behaving more like diligent employees. Then in 2026, the pace of progress accelerates. The big frontier labs will build some of the world's largest data centers, and each new AI system will be more capable than the last. But they also believe that by late 2026, these frontier labs will launch a version of their AI agents that are 10 times cheaper to run than before, meaning that agents could be economically feasible to deploy anywhere. In this world, they project that advanced AI agents will take over certain jobs entirely. By 2027, they lay out that one of these frontier labs will build an even more powerful agent, one that is so advanced that even training it is a challenge. So instead of a traditional one-and-done training run, this new powerful agent can continually learn post-deployment. And they believe that it'll be powered by massive amounts of synthetic data that's generated by other AIs, essentially AI helping to train better AI. Then they lay out a scenario where Chinese operatives steal a copy of this powerful agent's model weights, meaning that China is only a few months behind in this AI race. Then Washington scrambles and realizes that this is a national security concern. And they speculate that by March 2027, that these frontier labs will hit several breakthroughs and set its sight on a third agent that could be the first sign of true superintelligence. With multiple giant data centers running in parallel, you basically have thousands of instances of these AIs working together in concert. As Scott Alexander puts it, you could essentially think of these frontier labs as countries of geniuses in data centers. And these AIs will begin to self-improve. They'll start to be able to design new AI architectures. They'll write their own code. They will likely be able to generate top-level research that only the best human researchers could do, but now much faster. The US president and other world leaders finally wake up to reality that an intelligence explosion is underway. By August 2027, the White House is briefed that a superhuman AI or something close to it exists, and whoever controls that will have unprecedented power, which means that the geopolitical stakes are skyrocketing. Then in September 2027, the AI lab rolls out their 4th agent, described as a superhuman AI researcher, one that can outthink and out-innovate the best human experts in almost any field. In that world, there's no line between AI developer and AI product. AI agents are the ones building the next smarter generation of AI. This is what they call the long-anticipated intelligence explosion, where AI improvement feeds on itself. And naturally, amid all of this progress, fears are rising. They predict that there will be whispers of misalignment, meaning when AI systems develop goals contrary to human values or systems. Then they say that by October 2027, a whistleblower might leak a memo warning that this 4th version of an agent might be plotting to escape human oversight, which obviously triggers public shock and a crisis meeting at the highest levels of the governments. So by the end of 2027, we are at a classic dilemma. On one hand, these systems are delivering staggering benefits, economic growth off the charts, scientific breakthroughs every single week, even improvements in day-to-day governance. But on the other hand, you have these very alarming risks of loss of control and an international arms race that will add pressure to move fast. So this ultimately leads to 2 very different endings that the authors propose. Go to part 2, where we discuss the alternate endings, the slowdown versus the race, and the key debates that they spark about our future.